guys are awesome. I love happy endings. Not like that, man. Not like that. I thought Neil would cackle at it, not you. Not like that. It's okay. They're from BYU. So you're clearly an innocent man. I'll explain what she meant. She thought I meant when I said a happy ending. Well, okay, a happy ending has become kind of a euphemism for if a guy were to go to a massage parlor that we should say is less than reputable. At the end of the massage, if he were to give the girl a 20, she might Yahtzee! You know? I don't want to be too graphic, but a happy ending, right? Feeding the birds, whatever your euphemism of choice is. That's not what I was talking about, man. Although, actually, this is what blows my mind, is how creative people get. So I went to a bachelor party with my cousin, who's like 22, and he's one of those cool kids who, like, he's, you know, everything's like, oh, you just wouldn't understand. And, like, they were talking about some guys going to get a massage. And I was like, oh, you crazy guys gonna get a happy ending? They're like, okay, first of all, nobody calls it a happy ending anymore. They call it a Dumbledore. And now I'm curious. Now I'm like, I just gotta know, why would they call it a Dumbledore? And he goes, well, in the Harry Potter books, everybody's favorite headmaster from Hogwarts, Albus Dumbledore, always made sure at the end, there was a happy ending. So now they call it a Dumbledore. Okay, first of all, that's creepy, right? Because now, whenever I hear about somebody getting a happy ending, I'm picturing Albus Dumbledore standing over him with his wand, pointing at his nether regions, going, Expelliarmus! Avada Kedavra! For my Harry Potter peeps, you know those are actual spells. But secondly, the other thing that I pointed out is I've read the Harry Potter books. Spoiler alert, Dumbledore dies, all right? And I'm like, that's kind of bittersweet, cousin. And he goes, yeah, you try paying a stranger 20 bucks to have to get a load up and you'll know bittersweet. I couldn't argue with him. Okay, thank you for that sidetrack, man. I like happy endings as in the positive resolution of a story is what I was talking about. Because I love movies. I love going to the theater. I went and saw Gravity today. And I love, right, when I go to a movie, I have to have a happy ending. I'm not paying $15 to come out of the theater more depressed than I went in, right? That's what church is for. But they just came out with a list of the most romantic movies of all time. You know what the #1 most romantic movie of all time is?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter? Harry Potter, that sounds like one of those porn titles, like Shaving Mary Privates Ryan's. I don't even know those things. The Notebook, I heard The Notebook, that's #2. #1, anyone? No, Casablanca? Huh? He's part of the usual suspects. See, I know the movie, buddy! Ah, you looked angry. You looked angry there. This guy, by the end of it, we're high-fiving, sir. I guarantee it. You're going to be over, you're going to high-five me, you're going to go, this was a great show. Good luck. Good luck, I know, all right. So, no, the #1 most romantic movie of all time? Titanic. Yes, Titanic. Titanic. I disagree. I totally disagree, because let's remember how that movie ends, right? The boat crashes, and Jack and Rose, the two lovers, they end up in the water, right? Well, Jack's in the water. Remember, Rose was on that wooden raft? And wouldn't you just like, hey, Rose, how about you give Jack a turn on the raft there, honey? I'm not calling her fat, but that girl had some insulation. Jack was skin and bones, you know? Maybe you could swim a few laps, Rose, while he warms up. But no, remember, she's holding his hands, and just as Jack is about to die, as he's about to succumb in the frigid waters so that his love might live, she looks into his eyes and she says, I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go. Then what does she do? The bitch lets go! She lets go, and she doesn't just let go of those hands. It looked like she was electric shock, like, ah! And down goes Jack to the bottom of the Atlantic. Bloop, bloop, bloop. A little frozen Jacksicle, dead. Dead. He died. But you remember how they had the happy ending. They cut to present day, where Rose is 104 years old. And she goes to bed one last time, and she passes peacefully in her sleep. And then she goes up to heaven, which is the Titanic. And who's there to greet her? Jack. Cue the Celine Dion happy ending, right? Wrong. I think this is the saddest ending I've ever seen in a movie because Rose survived the Titanic, right? She went on and lived another 84 years. She traveled the world. She had kids. She was married, which means Rose had a husband. And when she died, that husband was up in heaven, waiting for Rose. He's not on the Titanic. He's probably at some Greyhound station in Poughkeepsie, New York, where they first met, just sitting there going, my Rose should be along any moment now. But does Rose go to the man with whom she spent probably 60 years, the man who gave her a home, who gave her a family, who gave her his heart? No, she blows him off to go find some guy she had a one-night stand with 80 years ago. Love stinks. Do you know how sad this is when you think about Rose's husband, that he's just sitting there twiddling his thumbs, unaware that he's being cuckolded by Leo DiCaprio, just sitting there going, she should be here any minute, because he spent the hard years with her, right? I mean, Jack, he got her when she was Kate Winslet. You remember the sketch, and Tata's out to here. Right, if you sketch Rose during the years that her husband had her, that would look a little different. It looked like a mummy with Christmas stockings hanging down to the floor. Instead of the jewel of the ocean, she'd have a life alert bracelet around her neck. I'm falling, I can't get up! I was so mad. I was so mad about this, that when Rose went up to Jack, what I wanted to have happen, I wanted Jack to pull a little lever and a trap door open up in the floor and have Rose fall down to the fiery pit of Hades. And as she's falling, he goes, you shouldn't have let go. Right. And then Jack goes and finds Rose's husband. They get a bottle of whiskey and they go bang some stewardesses from the Hindenburg. Because those were German chicks, you know, they're hot and they're into freaky stuff. Am I right? I'm just saying, man, it's terrible when you think about how they made happiness in this movie. What they said happiness was, what a happy ending was in this movie, spending eternity with a one-night stand. That scares me. Because, no, it made me wonder, who am I spending eternity with? I'm terrified because I'm not good with names. I don't want to picture that moment when I get up to heaven, there's some girl there and I'm like, hey! Help me out here. I'm just going to go with peaches? No. You spend eternity with a one-night stand. That was the solution to this movie, a happy ending. But, you know, if you think about it, maybe that is how it works. Because married people, clap your hands. Clap your hands if you're married in here. Yes. Neil, look at that. He wants credit. He's like, yeah, I'm married. She's watching. The women are watching when you clap there, Neil. So, you know, in your vows, I'll bet your vows said something. You promised to love, honor, and cherish, what? Till death do us part. Right? That means you're only committed to this person until you die. So maybe when you get up to heaven, you really can go back to all those women you passed up. Neil, you remember that biker chick you saw? She's going to be up there waiting. Come on, Neil, let's do this. Maybe that's eternity.